Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're my peers subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be discussing and talking about military bases. One of you guys have actually asked a really good question, so we're going to touch upon that, find out what is going on with the military bases, if there is anything there. What the it's going to kind of be like a blind reading in the aspect of like, I know what the topic is already, but I don't know what to expect or what information is going to come out of it. So we're going to explore that together in today's video. This video is being recorded on none other than Monday, March 10th at 12:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as of when I am recording this specific video. Just keep in mind this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only, and that is all. Now, if you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, or even commenting in the comment section below. And help me, help you, help everybody. So, without further ado, let's take a quick look. Let's see what's going on. If you have not already checked out my community page, I just posted some key days to look for over the next course of the next couple of months. I highly recommend you go check that out. I did use some of my intuition in that regard, so I do hope you are able to enjoy that as well. So go check that out on the community page, or the post page, whatever it's called. Anyway, let's begin. We have a lot to get through today. There's going to be kind of a short video, so yeah, let's get on to it. So, spirits and angels, how do we do this? Okay, they're telling me just to use the Rider-Waite tarot deck, so that is what we're going to use today, and they're telling me this is the only thing that we're going to need. Alright, so Spirits and Angels, tell me about the military bases. What do you need to tell us about the military bases? It was asked by a subscriber of mine in regard to the military bases. Is there any energy around the U.S. military bases around the world? What do we need to know? Okay. Okay, so here's what I got from this. In terms of the military bases, the first card that came out with the Three of Swords reversed. The word that I heard was when it came out was it's not going to close. However, the way it operates and works within these nations are going to change. And particularly in regard to surveillance, there is going to be efforts or proposals by nations who have U.S. military bases within their country. They're going to start what they call supervising or what's called making proposals that change and alter how the U.S. military bases operate and work and function within their own designated country, which means that they are trying to prevent any sort of quote-unquote subversion or even spying within their own region. So it feels like, to me, it looks like the U.S. Military bases will be in cahoots with the nation in which they take place in. So, for example, in order for them to stay open, they will need to agree to the terms of agreement of the nation in which it's in, and that nation in particular will be overseeing how things operate and the operation taking place within the military bases that's taking place there. So that's what it feels like. It feels like the countries are kind of like essentially taking a step back in terms of trusting the country to do the right thing, but instead they are seeing the United States bases as a threat to the nation, and they are trying to subvert that type of energy, to subvert that type of willpower by preventing any sort of spying, by overseeing how the military bases operate and work and functions within their designated country. Here you have the death card here. The death card tells me a lot of them won't be closing because a lot of them will be transforming or reforming in some capacity. However, there will have to be a new contract of a renewal. So some actually, it feels like to me that a lot of these things that they're talking about here, even though they're talking about a renewal or a transformation, a lot of countries are going to start forcing U.S. military bases within a designated country to do two things. They can either accept the new proposal and a new contract and stay open, or they are going to close and disagree with that contract. It feels like the majority energy here, it feels like a lot of those military bases will agree to new terms and conditions. Some will close, that's without a doubt, but it feels like majority of them agree to stay open under new terms and conditions. And this is represented here at the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles is telling me there is new revision, new changes, the transfer of how things used to be, it had now gone on to the next generation. The torch of the way things used to be had gone to the next era, the next stage in military basis evolution within the nations. Alright, the top of the deck here is the Five of Cups. This really puts a dent in their capabilities, in the U.S. capabilities to spy on the countries in which it has military bases on. So it puts a dent in the plan, which their suspicions are correct. And here you have the Four of Pentacles, which again reiterates that the U.S. military will be able to hold on to these bases. So I think everything will be fine in that regard. Now, let's take a look at what my subscriber said in terms of her question. Let's see if we can answer it more specifically, and then we'll end today's video. Let's see. Okay, let's do military. Yeah, overseas bases. This is from DM3133. And she said, I've been wondering about our overseas bases now that everyone hates us. Okay, so I guess I essentially answered it, but I will just ask if there's anything to this, more so than just that. So let's take a quick look. Let's see what's going on, if there is anything to it, and then we're in today's video. Spirit Angels, tell me about the U.S. military bases. Is there anything else about like what happened to U.S. power and influence in the military bases, overseas bases, in other nations, now that a lot of countries see the United States as a threat or the new Kremlin? So we have here okay, so here's what I'm hearing. They still see the United States as a strategic ally. So they see the United States as an ally. The reason why I'm getting that information is they're telling me here that, yes, what 45 is doing right now in the United States is considered temporary. And they understand the circumstances to which is currently ongoing within the United States. So they don't see the American people as a threat. They see the government and the institution as a threat. The same way that people see the Israeli government under Netanyahu, they see him as a threat because he's an authoritarian right-wing leader who's in cahoots with Putin and Trump, but also they see the government as evil while also seeing the people of Israel as innocent and pure and different from the government and stuff, the same way the Palestinians are. So that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like they understand the circumstances that play here. They understand that the United States, long-term wise, is going to be more of an ally to the nation, and you just see it as a little hiccup to the friendship. So they may have to temporarily break off from these nations. They may have to break off from the United States, but it's not long-term. These are not long-term solutions. They understand that 45 and what he's doing in the United States is temporary, and that's a band-aid. In some way, they know they expect an ending is coming. Whenever that ending is coming, then they will revitalize their commitment to the U.S., and the U.S. will revitalize its commitment to them. They understand that they are allies, and they seem to be, to me, it feels like the energy is telling me that the nation understands something that we don't know as Americans. They know something that we don't know. Okay? They understand the circumstances of what's taking place here. We don't understand it yet. Here, the left side here, is we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is many nations. It's an illusion, right? But it's many nations, right? We're talking about military overseas bases. The first two cards that came out was the World's card reversed, right? The World's upside down. What's going to happen to the United States and its military bases? And we have the Strength heading in the past, which means anything headed in the way in which it's going in the direction of the vent, which means that the U.S. strength and power in terms of military bases is actually influence is going to wane, which makes a lot of sense because the energy that we talked about earlier in today's video, we talked about how many nations were going to change the way things are operated within U.S. military bases and oversee them. Essentially, it decreases the power and influence of the United States. So yes, it does in some way feel like that. And so what is going to happen to military bases long term, especially overseas bases? The influence of the United States decreases in some capacity. However, going towards the future though, because you're starting to notice that each card here it looks like it's going higher and higher. We have here the 7-hour storage reverse. I don't have any indication, any feeling that the U.S. is going to lose a lot of its bases, but it does feel like the energy and perspective of many nations see the U.S. as a temporary threat, not a long term. Now here we have two cards on the outskirts here of the question. We have a death and transformation via contract. So there needs to be a death or a massive change in the way in the structure in the status quo of doing things within the military bases and overseas bases around the world. So there is going to be a restructuring. That is also going to be a thing that is going to collapse within the United States, but that is going to be on the outskirts of the United States, but yet is still related to the collapse of the United States as a whole. Now, the bottom of the deck here, we have the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles is reversed, and that is indicating that the U.S. is not really being smart about its placement and its allies, and it's just attacking whoever it wants to attack because it's the person, in the individual in power. So what does this mean? What does this tell me? The U.S. This is the U.S. right now with the energy and attention, the real aura of the United States, the Queen of Swords. This is telling me here that the U.S. will be able to realize this stuff and its importance in its role in NATO. And that NATO, in essence, here, this is NATO. Because we have the Queen of Swords here, and NATO is going to not oversee the U.S. It almost feels like NATO is going to subsidize its own power and influence as a way to subsidize the U.S.'s power. So in some way, what I'm essentially saying is that NATO is going to take on the energy and influence that the United States currently has or had, and NATO is going to be the driving force, and it's going to be the new, quote-unquote, one that oversees certain things, whereas the United States does not. Which means there could be many nations more representative. Here on the top of the deck, though, we have the 7 of Wands here. 45 is going to try and fight this. He's looking, again, like I said, they're looking to spy on these nations. Here we have the 4 of Swords. They're not going to be able to. Even if he tries to do it, he's not going to be able to. The influence and power of the country, he forgets that that is their land and that was given to them via contract. The contract has been annulled or has been considered nullified because it has been in some way has been has been breached. The contract has been breached and a new contract is being put forward. 45 does not like that because it jeopardizes his chances to influence the nation in which the United States currently holds an overseas base in. So that's what I'm getting in terms of the military bases. The U.S. power is waning. Some bases may close if they choose not to seek to continue the contract or accept a new contract within the nation. Nations will take back their power. NATO will subsidize its own power in replacement of the United States when the United States becomes vacant and becomes the isolationist nation once again. NATO will take that step to become the vacuum or fill the void of the vacuum of the United States until the United States is ready to resume that duty again, if it does even do it again. But the United States, in essence, is being seen as around the world as the new Kremlin, as a threat to many nations. But a lot of those nations understand the circumstances of the Trump presidency, and they understand innately that this is a temporary band-aid, and they understand something that we ourselves do not yet see, but yet they see something that we do not. And before that, they are not penalizing Americans, they are penalizing the administration. They see the administration as evil and untrustworthy, but they see the United States as something other than that. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, peace out. I love you.